Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel photoenthusiast.de. My name is Simon and today I will test together with you the autofocus capabilities of the new Sony A6700. For this field test I drove to the International Airport Stuttgart after work about 1 hour before sunset. I took with me my brand new Sony A6700. I've bought this camera also because of its new AI autofocus object tracking for planes. It also covers helicopters, but I assume nobody knows or is interested in. However, I could show you this feature in another video. Please leave me a comment below if you would like to see that. Before we start, I give you a short overview about my setup for this video. The challenge is to show you now what I saw on the display of the camera or through the viewfinder. To make this possible, I installed my Android smartphone on the camera, downloaded the Pro version of the Monitor Plus app, connected the smartphone via an USB-C cable and ran the screen capturing function on my smartphone. If you want to learn more about this solution, which I do not recommend for professional or everyday use, please leave me a comment below. The test is structured in 3 sections. First, we will track a plane in the final approach. After that, we will have a look on some aircrafts on the taxiway. Finally, we will close this session with an airliner starting. We see here an Airbus A390-100 of British Airways. As I said, the video is recorded with my A6700 using a Sony 70-350 telephoto APS-C lens. Considering that the plane is about 3 minutes 20 away from my position at the beginning of the runway and that the average approach speed of such an airliner is about 130 knots or 240 kilometers per hour, the plane should be about 13.4 kilometers away. Without the lights of the airplane on and without the magnification of the lens of 350 mm, which equals a full frame equivalent of 525 mm, you would barely see the plane with your eyes only. Although the plane is far away and the weather and the lighting conditions are challenging, you see that the camera has already recognized it as an object. It has not identified it as an airplane yet, but it is already tracking it. I'm sure you recognize some shaking in the record. I took this record with the OSS of the lens on and the IBIS of the Sony A6700 on using active stabilization. However, I took the record handheld. I learned that next time I will need a tripod or at least a monopod for such an exercise. If you have any recommendations, especially for a handy monopod, please leave me a comment below. Now you see that the focus tracking symbol of the camera has changed. The camera has recognized the object as an airplane and put a rectangle around it. This happened about 2 minutes before the airliner will pass by. So the plane is about 8 kilometers away at this point of time. While the airliner is farther approaching, please let me talk about what you see at the moment. The smartphone captures the output of the camera. The A6700 is in stills mode, with a resolution which equals SD. So the maximum capture resolution of the Monitor Plus app is 1024 x 576. I scaled the whole timeline up in video to 4K, so 3840 to 2160, to show you the pictures taken at least in 4K. I have taken the pictures as compressed RAW and edited them in Lightroom. Although the A6700 is brand new, this is already possible with a small trick. Please let me know in the comments if you are interested in. If you like these kind of tests, please like this video and subscribe my channel. Many thanks! Now we are on the final phase of the approach. The focus mode changed again in the most narrow mode. The cockpit of the airplane is in focus as a square. This happened about half a minute before the airplane will pass by. This equals a distance of about 2 kilometers. Following the rule, fill the frame, you hear and see that I took a lot of pictures in this final phase of the approach. You will also hear and see in a few seconds that the buffer of the A6700 is full and that the burst mode is not as fast as before, as the camera is writing the pictures direct on the SD card now. The card reader of the A6700 shall be able to write 250 megabytes per second on the SD card. The compressed RAW files on the SD cards had a size of about 25 to 30 megabytes. If we take all these facts into consideration, it is obvious that the camera is not able to take its full 11 frames per second after the buffer is full. But this happens after a fair amount of time. By the way, I purchased a fast V90 SD card of Kingston, also linked in the description below, so this shouldn't be an SD card issue. Now we have the view on the taxiway of the Stuttgart airport. As you see, I try to focus different airplanes which are rolling on the taxiway or parking nearby. This exercise is more challenging for the camera as the background is noisy and does not give as much contrast as seen before. In addition, we are shooting against the sun and through a wire fence. But despite all these obstacles, the results are still decent. The two airplanes rolling on the taxiway are recognized quite well. The only issue exists with the airliner parking kilometers away, which are not recognized. The last test covers a starting airliner. You see that the performance of the A6700 in connection with the Sony 70-350 is quite good, also in this part of the test. It is a capable combo for plane spotting, and I'm really looking forward to test this camera also in other scenarios. If you have appreciated this video, please like this video and subscribe the channel. See you next time, Simon.